to another episode of Miss the Bus. Today, what?
I'm
into this intro.
I was too. I'm so sorry. I threw you off. Go.
It's okay. Today I'm joined by, guys, you want to introduce yourselves?
Tyler, good to be here with you all.
Oh.
Matt, better to be here.
All right.
Bailey, great to be here.
Yeehaw.
Copy my thunder, why don't you?
All right. Today we
You didn't introduce yourself.
Hey guys, I'm Omar.
There
What's
you go.
up? How's it going? All right. Another episode. It's day 3.
Yep.
And we are talking about Sony, Ubisoft, and Square today for E3. So, y'all want to start?
Yeah, I
Let's
feel
go
like...
for it.
Dude, hell yeah.
Square was
Y'all
a
wanna
wet
get
fart.
Square over
Fuck
with?
Square Enix. Fuck them.
Fuck
Fuck
you,
them.
Square.
No, you know what? You know what sucks?
A lot.
Because I said, can Square fuck this up? I mean, I guess they can, but
It was their first
it would be
conference.
very hard for them to fuck it up with everything they've got, and they still did it. They managed to fuck the 20 minutes that they spent talking about these bullshit games that nobody cared about, ignored the stuff they wanted, saved Kingdom Hearts for last, and then show us the same fucking trailer we saw.
With a little more.
With a little
It
tiny
was
bit more.
legitimately only 20 minutes.
I mean,
like
fuck them.
how?
Fuck
That's
them.
awful.
I'm sorry, Square.
I still
I'm so
love Square
disappointed.
for what they do.
I stayed on because I had work
You
on
did.
Monday. I didn't want anything ruined for me. I knew all kinds of Kingdom Hearts stuff's gonna be coming out today, so I stayed off the internet from 12 o'clock until I got home. I went home, grabbed a granola bar, 2 cheese sticks, went to my room,
There you
kicked
go.
my shoes off, turned my TV on. Somebody tried to talk to me about it. My roommate tried to talk to me about it. I was like, nope, I haven't seen it yet. He was probably warning me.
Yeah.
I turned it
Like
on.
it was a
and fucking
disappointment.
20 minutes of sheer disappointment and shitting all over everything.
I just remember.
Square's end, not me.
I just remember like watching it at work and being so confused when it ended because I was like,
Yeah,
oh, did I miss like a whole part?
Like,
I
oh, that's
thought
it.
I
it was 30 minutes.
All right,
It was 20 or 30.
fucking-
It
I
was
want
definitely
to
not
end.
over 30 minutes.
I want it to end. So,
You want me to just go through the quick thing, the summary
Yeah.
of what they did?
right.
They showed more Shadow of the Tomb Raider stuff. Looked really cool.
That does look
it
really
looked
cool.
like a
It was
very.
probably the best thing they showed because we got actual hands-on gameplay.
It seems like a very dark.
When they were
game.
showing that, I was like, okay, Square's bringing it. Let's see what
then
they
from
got.
there, they went to the Stormblood Final Fantasy 14 online patch that's going to have Monster
Monster
Hunter
Hunter
stuff.
World. Yeah.
Cool.
Great. I mean, people like Monster Hunter, people like Final Fantasy. There are people for that.
And
It's not
see,
us.
I say I'm acting all pissed off, but I guess even with that, they were carrying momentum because it was cool to see Final Fantasy online.
Yeah.
Cross Monster Hunter. I was like, okay, that's cool.
And then they showed more of the Captain Spirit Life is Strange stuff. We saw a lot of that at Xbox
And,
already.
and then this is when it started
Well,
trailing
they
off
started
though
just showing
because
the same stuff that other people
Yeah.
had already shown.
that and that
why have a conference?
that fucking game they don't really show anything. It's like
No.
they introduce the game or they bring you into the game world, then they show a TV with the creators, and that's cool. You like
And
seeing
they
stuff like
talk.
that, but then it's over.
the creators, I guess, clarified a little more of what it was.
Right.
Like they re-emphasized it
And,
a little bit
and
more.
here's where they really emphasize that this entire game is free, which again, that's cool. We like
Yeah.
hearing stuff like that, and that's great because I was a little confused. It's just gonna be episode 1. What's gonna be going on? But I mean, yeah, then they just
just
cut
not a
away
lot.
from it. I could have seen a little bit more of the game. I don't know, but they didn't have much time. So even this, they haven't totally fucked it yet at this point.
Then they went to Dragon Quest 11. Comes out September 4th. That's a big deal for a lot of people that love the
Yeah.
Dragon Quest. I've never played them, but there is a very large following.
There
Yeah.
definitely is.
I don't think any of us play that.
They announced Nier's coming on Xbox. We already knew that.
Yeah.
I think they showed
They
that,
showed that
at
at Microsoft. Yeah.
And normally we're not going to list all the games like this. It's just there was so few, and
It's
we can
so
run,
brief.
We can run
Well,
through it
it's
very
also
quick.
just stuff we're going to talk about with other shows.
Right.
So.
The new game that they announced was Babylon's Fall, which could end up being like a Nier type game, which could be a big deal later, but we don't
Yeah.
know.
We just don't know much about it.
It comes out 2019. Octopath, which is a game coming out in July 13th on Nintendo Switch.
Are people kind of excited about
Yeah,
that?
that's
though?
a big deal. Yeah. They showed more of Just Cause 4. Looks great. Comes out December 4th. We talked about that in the Microsoft one. I feel like they showed a little more.
They did because that is I don't know why I'm sitting with this, but that is when they were like, you can drive a bulldozer because I said that for the other show. But
Right.
like this is when they introduced
you can do
that,
so
and
much
he's
in
like,
that
you can
fucking
drive
game.
anything you want.
Yeah.
Do-
It's insane.
jet, a bulldozer, and I was like, I kind of want to drive one.
It's fucking insane.
And then the second new game they showed was The Quiet Man, and y'all have a very
Because
funny opinion about this.
I think they did that total. I mean, okay.
I was so confused by it. That
was
was
odd.
the
The
thing.
Quiet, if you watch the conference, The Quiet Man was the one where they start with like live action shit and this dude's in the alleyway and he sees 2 other people and start walking up to him and then the camera like flips and then
It goes
into game engine. But I'm sorry, that game,
Yeah, it goes from live action to game.
game.
the game didn't
Yeah,
look that
the
good. Like
animation.
the
Yeah.
fucking like graphics and stuff didn't look that good.
Well, and they did,
I don't get what they were going
as soon as
for.
they showed it, right after they said we're going to show more in August.
That's cool. I mean,
So maybe
I'm
we'll
not
know
saying
more
the
of how the game
concept
is.
and the final game is going to be bad. I'm just saying you're trying to bring it in this press conference, and that or this direct video, whatever they're doing. I don't think that was a cool way of showing off a new game at all. Like, show live action real shit and then show your like subpar graphics. Like, there, like that makes them look even worse. I don't know.
I think like part of my issue with this was it kind of reminded me of Mute from Netflix.
Oh Christ!
That's why. That's like the whole vibe I got from it. So I was like,
he's
shit.
deaf.
Yeah.
Fuck.
That's why that's the immediately and they were fighting in the alleyway, so I started thinking of that bar room
part
where he like gets thrown out.
It was a weird trailer, but I am interested in that.
I think it's cool, but it's just I don't like them switching from live action to animation like that. I thought that was stupid.
I thought it was a weird way of showing it. And Square's very unconventional in the way they do things. I think
very much so.
It's some of like just being this Japanese company and stuff that maybe in our culture we don't get as much, but I don't know. I just think this was a weird way of showing off a new game.
Yeah, and then they ended the show by showing another Kingdom Hearts 3 trailer. It was the same one we got in Microsoft with a couple more things added in it.
They got Ratatouille.
Remy's a summon.
You see Ratatouille for about 2 seconds, and then you see fucking Axel. And,
or we think he's a summon. Apparently, one of the creators of the game or one of the people that worked on it said he's not a Link. So I don't know what he is, because the summons are called links now, right?
They are. Yeah, they're called links.
So we don't really know exactly. Maybe it's a mini game of sorts. Maybe it's in a random world, like a Twilight Town. Maybe there.
I think we're all in agreement that we don't think they're doing a Ratatouille world, though. I'm not saying that wouldn't be cool, but I just don't, Bailey's.
Yeah. But it's cool to see more Pixar stuff.
You know what? Check out the old Ratatouille game for Xbox 360.
When they actually had a game.
Maybe that's all. That's the only video
Bailey
I
talks
played
about
a long time ago.
Bailey's talked about it relentlessly for years.
That kickstarted Bailey's video game campaign.
I'm not kidding. It did. I love. Actually, no, Spider-Man did.
And then,
Ratatouille.
The end of the trailer showed returning characters of Axel and Kyrie, which was cool.
Well, again,
but it was a second.
I was starting to think, we're getting a second part, and there's going to be something completely different, or they're just going to show a little bit more. And it was about half a second more.
Yep.
And then they
there was some more story stuff, but it wasn't much.
The way these trailers are edited together, we've talked about how like we don't like the sound editing. I also, which we didn't say before, I don't like the way that they just have the song abruptly stop for the Kingdom Hearts logo. Mm-hmm. It just abruptly stops. It doesn't do.
It doesn't like fade out.
You gotta hear the.
That's the thing, and they could still do that with the song either fading out or doing something. I don't know.
They kind of do the same thing with introducing the song.
They do too. They
like
cut
it just
off,
cuts from them.
Everything stops.
Yeah, and then it just starts the song, which is kind of a weird transition too.
But I love Kingdom Hearts, and I don't think anything that I'm seeing is making the game look any less great. I think the game looks awesome, and I'm super excited for the game.
Right.
I think
they're just
at least
the bed
up until this point, they're kind of fumbling their reveal of what. I know not everybody loves Kingdom Hearts, but Kingdom Hearts is one of the most hyped things about this E3. You know what I mean? Like, people know we're finally seeing this game.
And that's the thing. It's not that I think these trailers are necessarily bad. They're put together oddly, but what I wanted to have more... I wanted to end up having more faith in the release date. I wanted Tetsuya Nomura or a developer to come out and actually talk about, this is the game, I worked on it, it's really good, it is coming out this day. Actually make me believe
that this game's coming out like next year, beginning of next year.
And I thought that would be at Square, and they didn't do it.
Right. It's almost like I don't get why Square had this press conference
to show games. Announce 2 new games.
That's the thing, didn't capitalize on Kingdom Hearts 3's hype, show more than we're going to get at the other ones. We didn't even get into this yet. No Final Fantasy VII. I don't know if you thought you were going to get that or what.
Or Avengers.
That's the other thing.
Everyone thought that you were going to see something with that.
Square had this stacked lineup. I was going 0
for 2 on both of those.
Right. Almost to the same extent that Sony had a stacked lineup. I mean, admittedly not in the same level, but Square, going into their comments, you're like, Square really doesn't have to have the most, like, concise and tight show if they show these games that we really care about, and they only showed one of them, which they had to show Kingdom Hearts. Yeah, and they baffled that, or they fumbled that too. So I don't.
And it's weird because this was their first separate show in 3 years.
Yeah, they don't always do a press conference.
So I don't really get why they did it.
Why come this year with one when you're going to give your main game to the other stages anyway?
What if something went wrong? What if there was supposed to be a Final Fantasy VII or Avengers thing, or is something just didn't? Maybe, but it was a recorded video.
It'd be nice to believe that because it would give them more credit, but I don't think it was.
When did Square announce that they were doing that they were going to be at E3 with their own video feed?
It had to have been a year ago, I'm sure.
When they announced it?
I'm sure.
I think they announced it recently. I'm not saying that's when they decided
they announced the dates for E3 next year, literally as E3 ends.
Right, the dates, but they don't announce like the actual conferences and stuff. I don't know. They do? Yeah. We have to look at it. But if you're right with that, then yeah, maybe they did going into this E3. They thought they were going to have more,
and something
they
went
just
wrong
didn't
throughout the year.
But yeah, maybe we're spending too much time on Square's.
We are. Well, actually,
But
Overall, it wasn't good.
Overall, I would say, and going back, we've seen EA and we've seen Microsoft at this point. I think Square had the worst one, honestly, and that pains me to say. I think EA maybe had less interesting games, but they made me at least slightly care. I cared a little bit more about like Anthem and
Square was the most pointless.
That's the thing. Like Square, at the end of the day, they didn't show most of what I wanted, and then the new stuff they didn't show in a cool way. And at the end of the day, it was over before you could even think about it. It just wasn't.
They just seemed like they didn't try at all.
Yeah, I don't really get what the
like
point
they
of it
didn't
was,
care, so we don't care, kind of thing.
Exactly.
Well, that was the first conference of that day, and then we moved on to Ubisoft.
Which was really good.
Ubisoft
I liked it a lot.
kind of brought it, and Ubisoft,
it was pretty good.
They're not on the same level as Microsoft and Sony, obviously, but I think every year they get a little bit better. The spectacle with them is always there.
Their name is stamped on so many games.
It really
even
is.
If
I think you kind of forget
it.
until you're actually watching an hour and a half of Ubisoft stuff how much they really have.
Yeah.
And the show opened up with the dancing panda for Just Dance.
Dude, fuck me. I had no idea what was going on.
I didn't either.
Like, eventually I was like, oh, this is Just Dance 2019. But, like, I'm sitting there. I'm bummed about the Square press conference. I'm like, what the fuck is this panda? I'm eating my second cheese stick. I fucking bite my lip worse than I've ever bit it before. It's all, like, swollen today and shit. But I'm just, like, sitting there like, what the fuck is going on? And then that happened. I was like, well, today's fucked.
Hey, Just Dance 2019 coming out on Wii and Wii U.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
And Switch.
Well, yeah, but like it's
Wii?
coming.
I know.
Wii.
I don't really know why it's coming
I can't
out on
believe
Wii.
it's still coming on the Wii, but I say that as some, or we all say that as people that like video games and are keeping up with the current ones. But I guess you look at Just Dance, and I think a big part of their audience are people
that have
playing it
Wiis.
on their old Wiis. So maybe they have to. Maybe these games still run on it. Obviously, there's not a lot that they actually like render.
No.
You know what I mean? It's all like pre-recorded stuff. So I guess they can just keep making them, and maybe they should. I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I thought that was a fun way to start it. I was very interested.
Me too.
It was odd.
I think as I opened it up, like halfway through that
Yeah.
dance number, so when I saw it and I didn't see that it was Just Dance, I was very confused with what Ubisoft was trying
Ubisoft,
to advertise.
what are you doing exactly? But yeah, I thought they kind of nailed it with that as much as you can nail Just Dance.
Yeah.
And then their first game that they showed was big. It was Beyond Good and Evil 2.
Yes.
Right, a game that a lot of people have been...
It's been in development hell for like 11 plus years.
Almost to the same extent as Kingdom Hearts.
Yep.
Kingdom Hearts is obviously more far
It
along
is
now,
the Kingdom
but
Hearts of Ubisoft, I
Right.
feel, in the sense of people have wanted it for a long
People are
time.
very
It has
hype about it.
It has a fan base.
right. So we finally got. I mean, we got a CGI trailer last E3, right? So we got another one this year, and then we went into some gameplay that looked really cool.
It
They
looked
showed
really
gameplay
cool.
like in the background of like the developers talking.
Right. That's
So
true.
It was
Yeah.
kind of odd.
It
And
was
then they-
odd, but
And then
To
they
like hide the fact
then they
that
brought out the big gun.
yeah, the big gun himself
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Yup.
takes the stage, fucking does a jump, hug, slap thing.
It was so weird, but I
I
loved it.
smiled. I was happy.
I
he was
love
there.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I mean, the man, he can do whatever he wants on stage. It's kind of weird. He's not awkward. I think he's fucking
He was,
hilarious.
Yeah,
and he
he's-
was so happy too when he
was.
came out. So, and then he was like, "Help us, please."
That's the thing.
Finish
so,
this game.
So
That's what's weird about
What
it.
do y'all think about that? Because on the surface, and if you want to criticize it, which none of us are trying to criticize this game,
No.
but I think it's easy to rip into it as like this game's been in development hell for so long. And then now they've got Joseph Gordon-Levitt standing on stage begging random people to help them make the game. So it makes it
basically-
seem even worse. But realistically, what's he doing?
He has a company called Hit Record,
Right.
And apparently, I guess it seems like it's a content company that they're partnering with Ubisoft, and people can submit art or music or anything that can be submitted into the game and just use. And
Right.
basically, it's kind of to help fans craft the game, which is cool from a certain point of view because it has a big fan base, and now fans are helping input on how the game is made. But it also kind of says like, maybe we don't know what we're totally doing for this game.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing.
We need help.
When I first saw it, and I don't know if you guys agree with me or not, but I thought that that's what the vibe I got from it was like, oh, they need help. They're kind of fucked. But the more I thought about it, it's more like, I mean, maybe they are still fucked, but I think the Joseph Gordon-Levitt thing, trying to get people to
And
contribute to
apparently,
the
it
game.
pays people. They pay people.
Oh, they do. Okay, well, that's great too.
The original
I think,
content that's used, the people are paid for.
I think it's almost more of just like a cool thing, like because they're not building the game. They're like you said, it's artwork. It's gonna be like the graffiti on walls or the fucking movie posters and
Yeah.
the dark
I
alleys
think-
and stuff like that. So it's
Yeah.
more like people like us are getting to put their stamp in this game that, as we said, has been in development hell for this long. So this game is being worked on forever. When it finally comes out, it's gonna be a huge deal.
I think it's really just them trying to like do something different and make it to
Yeah.
where like the fans of this game feel even more of a part of it. And since it obviously isn't finished yet, they have the time to do
They
it.
do.
So, and Joseph Gordon-Levitt's just like a nice dude, and he wants to help everyone out.
And
So,
the thing was, when the conference ended, people were like, well, do people that submit stuff not get paid? And he went on Twitter and was like, no, we're totally sorry that we didn't mention that,
Right.
but any input, people will get compensated
And that's
for
awesome.
it. Yeah.
That's how
and he
it
was
should
really
be.
cool about it.
And realistically, with Joseph Gordon-Levitt and his company doing this, I don't think it's going to distract from the actual development of the
No.
game. It's not going to slow that down. It's almost like it's just going with it.
No, I mean, I think we get this game in a couple,
Yeah.
2 to 3 years.
Yes,
I mean,
I agree.
it'll be a while. But they also revealed that the game, the game's been known as a prequel to the first game.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the trailer, they showed the girl that they showed. She's the main character from the
Yeah.
first one, and the pig
Right.
is the guy from the first
Yeah.
one. So it's how it's connecting to the first one as a prequel. It's kind of timeline's
Weird.
weird because they said it was going to be way before the first one.
So it was just going to be.
But
a
they
little
must
bit
have just
before.
taken fan input and just decided to make it more.
And as they
close.
should, because if the game is in development for this long, and obviously the people that love
fuck
the
it up.
original game are a fan of the characters, so why make this completely out there prequel? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like bring it closer, and so I support that.
It looks good. I'm into it.
Yeah, me too. All right, so what else? What else did you guys really like?
The man on the dirt bike.
Are you talking about Trials?
That game looks fun.
Trials does look fun. It reminds me of this. Like I don't play a lot of mobile games, but there was this iOS game that I played like maybe like 3 or 4 years ago that was a lot to do. You know, it was kind of like that, and I was like, oh, this
Yeah,
is kind of cool.
it's a motocross game, but it's
Right.
more ridiculous, and it comes out in February.
Yeah.
And there's going to be a closed beta. You can register for now.
Yeah, I mean, it looks fun.
Yeah, it does. And again, EA or Ubisoft killing it with just the way they market this stuff. Like having
It was a fun way to
right.
present it.
And then he falls over on stage and knocks the shit over, and
Oh my
that
God.
looked like a real TV that fucking busted. I don't know, but yeah, I think they really do a good job.
I
With
forgot.
stuff like
I
that.
totally forgot about that. The dude drives up on a dirt bike in like a
Crashes.
pleather American flag like jumpsuit. I thought that was funny. It was setting the mood, setting the tone for this game.
Yeah,
It
for
did.
sure.
And then the big thing after that was they showed more Division 2,
Yes.
which they kind of showed at Xbox. But basically they
They
said
showed a lot more with this
going to
one
be
though.
8-player raids. There's going to be years of free updates, and year 1's going to have 3 DLC
Yeah.
episodes. So that's a big
Yeah.
deal.
Yeah.
They're showing all free stuff.
It
and
is.
And they made it seem like, because the first one, like, it was a letdown for some people, and it seems like with this game, they took a lot of
I think they did.
They're reiterating what fans want.
Right, and
so.
that's again like what a game like this needs to do is take fan consideration into account and make a game that they wanted to begin with. You know,
Yeah.
they did all they could to update the original and make it more of a complete game after launch. But yeah, at the end of the day, if there's things wrong with the core gameplay elements, yeah, make a sequel and make it better. And obviously, they're doing a good job with the whole all these different expansions that are coming out being free. So
Right.
yeah, I support it.
Then they had that band come out for Mario Rabbids with Donkey Kong DLC.
Donkey Kong.
And that looks really fun. Comes out this month, June
I
26th.
was
Yeah.
gonna say that's one of the things that comes out very soon.
I need to get that game.
Yeah.
Apparently it's really fun.
Right.
I just kind of hate the Rabbids.
I've heard the game strangely goes on sale too very often. Like,
Yeah.
I think if you buy it right now, it might be like a full price game, but every now and then it's like $29.99. So maybe it's worth it.
Yeah.
I think the worst part of the show was the Skull and Bones stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have something to say about this trailer. I love pirate stuff and I love pirate games and I think it looks really cool. But the fact that this trailer went on for what feels like a fucking eternity,
It was
I was
long.
so thrown off. Like,
I stopped watching it.
I didn't. So I'm complaining about it, but I watched the entire thing. But it was so frustrating because I was like, why? Why did it need to be that long? They could have shown so many other games and so much other gameplay, but like they chose to show this for the longest, which made no sense to me.
Agreed.
But other than that, I think the game looks really cool.
It does.
There's a fan base for it.
Here's the thing. Is this the game that they said years ago when Black Flag, maybe not right when Black Flag came out, but remember they've said they were going to make a pirate only game that was kind of along the line because everybody
Sea of
loved
Thieves?
it. No. Well, no, but they actually said like they were going to take like the sea combat and stuff like that and make a pirate game.
Probably.
I remember that being
I'm
talked
not
about.
as
This
drawn
was
into
years
pirate
ago,
shit.
though, and I think it kind of took me a second after watching this fucking trailer for 10 minutes to realize, like, oh, maybe this is that. And
It was.
so,
I thought it was an odd choice to show for as long
a
as
whole,
they-
Yeah.
like
It was
whole
a lot.
fucking gameplay
I'll tell you
demo
what
of
though,
it.
they did have a quote in it, and it was like, "In a dog eat dog world, we were wolves." And I was like, "Hey, you know what? I kind of like that quote."
You and your quotes, man,
I thought it was funny.
And then they brought out another hard hitter afterwards, Elijah Wood.
dude. Yeah, that was surprising. That
I
game looks really cool though.
Is it
Starlink?
only a VR game? No,
Yeah, I couldn't remember what it was called.
Transference.
Right, that was the
Oh.
kind of like horror VR game that was,
Oh,
it was
okay.
very colorful.
I think it's
and-
gonna be more than just VR though.
Is it?
I thought that's what Elijah Wood said.
I can't remember.
I
Maybe
thought
it did.
that's what Elijah, the
Like,
little
look-
boy, said.
See, and I guess
It comes out this fall.
Right. That's
So-
the thing. It's another one of these games where the release date's coming really soon, and I thought it looked really, really cool. That's the thing. Hopefully, it's not VR only, but it almost seems like a game that's going to be really cool in VR. And if you don't have a VR headset, I don't know if you're going to buy one at this point, but maybe that's one of the things that
was
gets
cool
you
that
closer
it's-
to buying one.
It's like his company helping develop and write the story
Yeah.
for it. His like media company.
Yeah.
Random.
I'm glad to see him doing something.
Yeah, I mean it's cool. It's
Right.
it's good to see celebrities like care about games and
Oh yeah, for sure.
oh, that's cool.
And Ubisoft again, they really tend to do that the most with the celebrity side of it anyway, bringing them in. So
And they also announced Assassin's Creed, right?
they did.
Ooh,
That was
Yeah,
Odyssey.
That was at the
Yeah.
end where they went into Assassin's
Yeah.
Creed
Which
Odyssey.
actually,
and-
I haven't played the last one. It's the first Assassin's Creed game I haven't played.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the one that's set in Egypt. And
you played all of them?
You haven't played the one
Holy
set
fuck.
in Egypt.
I know.
That doesn't make any
I
sense.
know.
I didn't know you played all of them.
Dude, I love those games.
Oh,
I mean, I've
dang.
never, I haven't finished all of them, but I
Uh-huh.
played all of them.
It's a thing. The Assassin's
they're so
Creed,
good.
and we shouldn't get into Assassin's Creed tangent, but you can argue like it started off kind of good and it lost its way, and now it's getting its way back. I don't know.
And I don't get too excited for Ubisoft games. Like I thought this was a good conference, but for the games they develop, like Assassin's Creed and Watch Dogs. Now, granted, I know people are saying Assassin's Creed's better now. I know people said Watch Dogs 2 was good and Far Cry 5 was good,
Right.
but it's just
But-
their games take so long
Assassin's
to play.
Creed, I don't know. It feels like every other game. Like,
Yeah, well, it feels like every other Ubisoft game in particular too,
There's
because
so
Ubisoft
much
has
to
this
do.
formula they do. It's like Watch Dogs,
So
Assassin's
much
Creed,
to
all these
do,
games.
right.
It's always like, look at this giant city that you can do everything, all this different stuff in it, but it's
Right.
all these different just like fetch missions that you don't
Yeah,
really
it
care
kinda
about.
gets
Collect
repetitive.
everything,
A lot of
climb to the
walking.
top of everything,
A lot of
walk a
walking.
lot, get a horse sometimes. I don't know. And this one you get one.
And that's
so,
the thing. I think eventually I need to start giving Ubisoft games a chance again because I've stepped away for a while.
They burned you out. I mean,
They did
that's
burn
what they
me
do.
out, and I
So-
feel like I need to start giving them a chance again because this was a good conference. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But in Assassin's Creed, seemed
Assassin's
cool.
Creed
You can-
looks good.
You can play as a male or female. There's
Yeah.
dialogue.
There's
choices.
dialogue choices. That's one of the
Comes
big
out
things.
October.
Yeah. So, what you expect from Assassin's Creed? I mean, their whole thing was we're gonna not make one every year. And now they're sort of going back to that, but maybe that one year is all they needed to.
I
We
think
won't know until the game's out if they should be making one every year.
I agree.
Actually, they probably shouldn't. But
I think-
maybe they can make them 2 years in a row. I
I
don't know.
think the coolest thing shown at this conference was the Star Fox add-on for that
Yeah.
Starlink game.
It
for,
was.
For,
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
for
the way
Switch.
they introduced that
It was really
so
hype.
cool.
It was cool. I love seeing Fox.
Because I wasn't because they made it seem like it was over, and then they brought it back, and I don't know. It was just really hype the way they introduced it.
Yeah, and then they showed some stuff for Honor. It's free on PC right now.
For Honor.
There's going to be an update.
Jesus.
There's
Why
going
is
to
that
be
game still like a thing?
Yeah, I don't know.
I remember when it first came out, my friend sent a message like in a group text or whatever. He's like, "Dude, everybody download For Honor now." I was like, Are you
I
fucking
played the
kidding me?
beta. The beta was kind of fun. It just
I tried
didn't-
it out, but it's
I
not
had
a game
no
I
interest
spent
in
like
it.
And that's
over
the thing.
an hour on.
It
dude.
didn't feel like one of these $60 games that I just need to buy. You know, it felt like a game.
Wait.
Yeah, it was a full price.
It was $60.
Yeah. It
Are
was
you
a full price
fucking
game
kidding
at
me,
launch.
man?
Yeah, that's the
That's why I
problem.
didn't buy it. Your boy was broke at the time. I wasn't buying that.
That's the thing. Like, it's a
my
cool
God.
concept, but I don't think they should have made it into this grand like game that we have
No.
to sell for $60.
Not at all.
Make it one of those more like indie kind of games you can sell for $20 or $30.
Right, yeah.
It's just multiplayer, right? I don't think it had a single player.
No,
Yeah,
it didn't.
it's one of those things like I don't think it
Jesus.
needed to
But they're
be.
giving out updates for it.
Yeah, and that's cool. And also, I think for the next week, we got to look at the actual date for it. But they're giving like if you go on, I think it's PC only, but you can
it's
get on
free.
and you can just get the game for free. It's not a free trial; it's an actual. You go online, download it, and you own it if you have Origin on PC. So that's really cool. And then I guess they're encouraging the DLC is not free, right? Or is it?
No.
I don't think it is. So I guess they're saying, get the game and then buy the DLC.
Oh, no,
Yes.
it is.
It is?
It's an update. That's what it
Okay.
is. It's an update
Okay.
with that comes with a 4v4 Castle Siege mode. That's,
Oh,
that's
right.
what it is.
Well, there you go. So For Honor just kind of keeping it
Yeah, and
going
then,
trying to save itself.
The Crew 2 comes out June 29th.
Yeah.
And there's an open beta on the 21st. It's weird that it's a week before, but it's a free open
Completely
beta.
free.
week
I'll be
before,
interested in
so-
playing
Have
it. I
y'all
think we should.
played the first one?
No, I didn't.
Apparently, it wasn't that great.
That's the thing.
I played the
Angela's
first one,
played
and
it.
I thought it was okay.
I was really hyped for it because the whole idea of being able to drive around the entire country and do stuff like that. But then, yeah, I think it was just like negative publicity I got when the game
Yeah.
actually came out. I just wasn't excited for it. So, but maybe this will be better, and I'll definitely step into the beta and try it out. It's cool that it's so soon and then it's gonna be an open beta.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that was Ubisoft.
Yeah, they did. I mean,
It was solid.
right. It was
For
solid.
what they do, it was solid.
I
Yeah.
thought it was really good.
Yeah, I think so too. I think you know what you're getting with Ubisoft. They're,
And they
they're
didn't
all
really
about
bullshit.
the spectacle. They've got their games that you're semi interested in, and they showed us the ones we wanted, like the Division and Assassin's Creed. It's stuff that they know they're big games, and they showed us the most of those. And aside from the blunder with the fucking pirate game, I think for the most part,
Which
they
it still
nailed
looks
it.
like a cool game, but I mean, calm down. We didn't
Yeah.
need to see that much of it.
We did.
There's a lot.
We pretty much played the game.
Yep, there you go. So what's next? Because we saw
The most
we saw-
important.
I'm grabbing a water. Y'all start.
Okay.
Wait, what's this?
Sony.
Come
Sony.
on, boy.
Okay,
The most
okay.
important.
Yeah, because we
So
have.
let me set the scene. No, I'm kidding. But they did the way they decided to do everything at first seemed.
Interesting.
At first, you were just like, "Why are we in a church?" And they even made a joke. They're like, "Oh, if you're here, you don't have to go to church on Sunday." And I'm like, "Oh my God, is Sony God?" Like,
They
I'm
know.
so
They know
lost.
they are.
But it at first just seemed like they were trying to set like a cool mood, but of course it was leading into The Last of Us Part 2, which you see like all the lights and the fake church thing they built, and then it goes into the first scene that they
And
cut
it's
scene,
it's
and
in a
it's
big
literally
tent.
the same exact lighting.
Yeah.
And I thought that was super cool. Other than like the 15-minute banjo solo we get in the beginning.
I thought it was so cool.
And no, I love
I love
I
the
love
music
the
and
banjo
everything around
solo
that
as
game.
much as anyone, but
As
it
much as
did go
anyone.
on again for 15
yeah,
minutes.
it was
Right.
the guy that makes the music for the game came out and he played like
With,
Oh,
like-
like live? You mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, I didn't even watch. Like I didn't actually watch.
Yeah,
it.
and right before they went to the cutscene, like they showed.
That's
him
what this
playing
conference
live.
had. Between each game, they had like weird these
music.
like
Oh,
little
dude.
music. Like
I mean, I didn't watch
intermissions
anything
and-
yesterday. I watched all the trailers like this morning when
Oh,
I was
okay.
at work.
Well, yeah, but what they showed for The Last of Us Part 2, I have not played the first one, and I know Tyler and Matt both love it,
It's one of my favorite.
but
games.
like what they showed with this one made me. This was probably like the best trailer I'd seen. Like a gameplay, everything. Like this was
Right.
the best out of the whole
and
conference, in my
and
opinion.
it just focused on Ellie.
Uh-huh.
I couldn't tell if what they were showing was supposed to be in the future or just like maybe her perfect world that doesn't exist.
Oh, okay.
Or
I
if
don't
it was
really
like-
know.
She is a lot
it shows
older
like
in this one, right?
what I took it as. It shows it as like a happy time before something happens, and she goes
Uh-huh.
fucking crazy and like
Yeah, because I mean I haven't
all
played
the
the first one
gameplay that
either.
they show.
I've played maybe through half of it or something, but obviously I have no idea how it ends. Now I know she's gonna make it through the first one though.
Well, yeah,
so.
there you go.
Unfortunately, with something like this, it's like if you
Yeah.
didn't
You
play it
can't
when it
avoid
came
it,
out
right.
and the
Right,
new one's
yeah,
coming
yeah.
out, it's
No,
just
I get
one of those
that.
natural
But,
spoilers.
I mean, it still looks like really cool.
I mean,
And,
the way the game, obviously the gameplay was set up in a way to where it was more of a cinematic, and that's not how the game will actually flow.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's still just the way that it looked.
Well-
It just looked so
God,
incredible.
it was
Yeah.
so like cool and violent.
I mean, that's the thing.
I was
it-
not expecting it to be that violent.
If the game actually plays anything like what, and it will, but
The thing is, I think it will. Naughty
I
Dog,
think
they
that's the thing. I think they really are just elevating.
They're
you know
so
what I mean? I
good.
think that the combat's going to be a mix of just this really solid combat and almost
Yeah.
like cinematic stuff going on. Because the first game's so cinematic.
and
so
here's
they're
here's
taking
the
it to
thing.
next level.
I've played every single Naughty Dog game from the start. I've played from Crash Bandicoot 1, all the Jack games, all the Uncharted's, and then Last of Us, then Uncharted 4. Everything they do is
Right. It's
You-
it's game changer always.
well,
so.
everything that they do, you can always see like the next step or the next thing that they're doing. And
they're
you
like
can,
building up to
yeah, like
it.
Right.
Uncharted 4, that game had Last of Us written all over it. And it's
Yeah.
like things like that. You can see that they learn and they keep elevating everything. So I firmly
which is what you
believe-
want from games anyway.
Yeah,
So
and I firmly believe their game will actually flow that way.
That's what I think too. I think that it's gonna look just like that. I don't know if the scene we saw, I don't see that being an actual part of the story. Just
Right.
because as cool as it looked, if you're sitting there playing that at your house, what are you actually trying to do?
the funny thing is, someone from Ubisoft, I think it was Ubisoft, said something about how they thought The Last of Us. They were like, "That's stupid how they didn't show something like actual gameplay. It was fake gameplay."
No, that's real. Okay,
And so, but they came out and apologized for it.
I'm
This happened like
definitely-
earlier today.
that's the thing. I'm definitely not ripping at all on what we
Oh,
saw.
no,
I think
not at all.
The way they showed that is the way you show a game at a press conference.
Yes.
I'm just saying, like, be slightly realistic in the sense that I don't think you're going to see that exact thing in the game.
No, yeah.
No, which I don't think most people would expect that, but the way they presented this game was the perfect in my
Right.
opinion. I think they nailed it completely.
They
So
I think it's a 2019 game.
You do,
Yeah, but I don't think they say that until next E3.
yeah.
Naughty Dog takes a long time for their games.
They
A
do.
very long time. So
Right.
I didn't expect a date for it, and I was fine with what we got.
Yeah.
I want to see Joel, but obviously they're saving Joel. They're
Yeah.
saving
I
showing
was-
I
him.
was very
I
surprised.
was a little surprised that they didn't show him at all.
And at the end of the day, this is Ellie's trailer. This is Ellie's, time to shine, I guess. And this may end up
Yeah.
being Ellie's game. We don't
And
know,
I think
but
the focus on her is justified based on how the first one ends.
Yeah.
So
and that's what I'm saying. If you end up playing as her the majority or all of this game, then they may just be trying to, at least in our minds for a year, separate Joel, get him a little bit out of the picture, so you're not disappointed when the game comes out. So
Yeah.
I kind of get that. We'll see. We'll see how it
Yeah.
goes.
That was good. The transition from room to room was not.
It's almost like maybe they should have had. I mean, it's their conference. I don't know what they could have done, but the whole 15 minutes it took to move everybody out of the church and into the actual conference hall.
They were trying to be
was-
creative and do
Yeah.
something different, which
And they
you
killed
respect
it.
them for that. But
and
Well, it's one of those things though. They don't need to be creative because Sony already has such a big fan base.
Right.
So it's like
Right.
it seems like they were going out of their way to impress, but they don't need to because they have
Yeah.
the games. People want
I
their
agree.
games,
Right. And to their benefit, at least they did cut away to, we got something.
Right,
got
like,
the
we weren't
people
just sitting
outside and they
there.
were announcing new stuff and talking. And we got some Call of Duty stuff. It was more Black Ops 3, which is weird.
It's free on Plus.
Yeah. No Black Ops 4 real reveal or trailer or anything at
No.
this E3, so take that for what you will. I guess it's Call of Duty and you're going to buy it anyway.
Yeah.
I think the more weird thing is that they specifically a few months ago went out of their way to announce the Battle Royale mode, Blackout, and then we didn't see any of that here. But I don't know. Well, I'm sure we'll see it at some point soon. So,
Right.
But yeah, so ultimately that didn't last too long before we got back into the conference. And next up was Ghost of Tsushima, which
The new Sucker Punch game.
really, I mean, I guess I don't know if they've shown anything really from that game, but I was shocked. That looks awesome.
I mean, it was
really good.
gorgeous.
It was gorgeous. It
That's-
looked really, really
That's
cool.
like what I couldn't stop paying attention to. Like, other than all the like gameplay with like slicing people in half, which is awesome. I like couldn't stop looking at the scenery because I don't know. It's just one of the games that you feel like you're just gonna want to walk around forever
Yeah.
and like look at everything. I don't know. It's kind of peaceful in a way, even
Yeah,
though you're like
it
killing
looks-
people.
It looks really good. And again, I mean, no release date, but
There we go. I know.
I didn't expect it.
Probably February 22nd.
I mean, we're seeing these like
No.
very.
I know. I'm kidding.
We're seeing these games that are just almost in a whole realm of their own in terms of like quality and what they're bringing new
Cinematics
things to the
and-
table. So yeah, to the table. So yeah, it's I guess you're not gonna get release dates on them, but it looked really good. So
The next two we did get release dates for, or Windows. They showed this game Control. It looked very Inception-esque.
Very cool.
I think the company that's making it normally made games on Xbox, so I think that's why it's a big deal that their name was shown at the end of it, because it seems like they're kind of jumping
I was
ship.
gonna say they got like a kind of like cheering ovation at the end, which I didn't get it because I didn't really
You
understand
know what?
who
They
they were.
might
But
they might be the people that made Alan Wake.
okay, that would make sense. And
I
I've actually
could- I
played.
could
I've
be
actually
wrong.
played a little bit of that game.
I am super excited for Control, though. I thought that trailer was
Yeah,
like super
and-
eerie and like,
And they said 2019, and then after that was the big hype reveal of Resident
Yes.
Evil 2.
Yeah.
AKA not to bring it back to this, but Ratatouille.
I was gonna say they do a good job with that trailer of like starting off where you don't even know it's Resident Evil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eventually you know it's Resident Evil, but you don't even know what Resident Evil you're getting.
And so, like,
I'm
you
gonna
see-
new one
play
is
that
it a
game.
remake of? For a while we're thinking, and these are people that we haven't played Resident Evil 4, but I was thinking, oh, is this the remake of 4? And it ends up being 2. So take it for what you will, but it looks really good.
It
right?
does.
Yeah,
Yes,
it looks
it,
yes,
looked,
yes, yes.
it looked awesome.
Yeah.
But then,
Damn.
wait, are we moving on to this one?
Well, yeah. we
Okay. So, Death Stranding.
go.
How I have no idea what to even expect from this game, and I don't think anybody like.
We're not
I don't
supposed to.
I don't want to though. I kind of want it to be like this unknown thing, kind of like Annihilation or what were we talking about?
To be honest, I could see it staying like this for a long time, if almost up until release. Like unless
just keep
something
showing
leaks,
baby butts.
I don't think they want you to know a ton about what's going on. I think that's kind of cool because if you're going to compare it to movies like Annihilation and what's the other one I'm thinking of? Arrival, you don't know a shit ton about those movies when you go in to see them either.
Nope. And it was so much better not knowing
As I
anything.
think if you're going to take a sci-fi concept like this and it's very
Yeah.
strange, very weird, like maybe don't show us, because what they're showing is perfect. It's enough for us to be like
Everything-
extremely hyped up about it. So
The music and everything too with it was awesome. The only thing I could have done without was ripping the toenail off.
yeah,
Only thing I
Didn't
was
like
like,
that.
you know what? I could do without this.
I love when he
Yeah.
pats his little like baby
His little
container.
baby?
He's like, "Hey, look over
and the
there."
baby just
Look, see
swims
that.
up. I love that.
What's so interesting is the gameplay was just that they showed was just Norman Reedus' character walking around.
Yeah,
Which was in a way still kind of cool.
I don't
he
know,
pretty
I-
much like he was carrying like a dead body at some point, and he pretty much just said, "I'm like a delivery." Or he said something.
And well, at some point he was
along the
picking
lines
up
of
a
that.
body and everything.
right. Because
Like he's like, I just make deliveries or something. He says in the trailer at some point.
it's like he's always got something on his back.
Yeah.
To
To
those who don't
One person's
know,
body, yeah, that's
this
the thing.
game is from Hideo Kojima.
Right.
He was the creative director behind Metal Gear before him and Konami had their big falling out. So this is, and then he was supposed to do Silent Hills with Norman Reedus and Guillermo del Toro and all these people, and it got canceled
Right.
because of the Konami stuff. And now this is his game that he announced 2 years ago, or was it last year?
It wasn't last year. It
was 2 years
It was
ago.
2 years ago. It might have been 3, but I guess it was probably
I think
2.
it was 2 because it was the E3 where they showed Horizon and God of War.
Okay. Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, we probably won't get this till 2020 in
yeah.
my opinion. But I mean, I'm sure it'll be great. He says it's going to change the way games are, and I believe him because, I mean, he's held to such a high standard and he's pretty much like a godlike figure. I mean, people fucking praise him for his
We were
games.
in church
So.
for this, so
Well,
not
not
for this
this.
specific one, but like for this
No,
conference.
It looks great though. I mean,
I like the whole vibe of it.
Yeah, for sure. They're showing, like I said, they're showing exactly what you need to see of it to be excited for it.
They
to just like keep you on the hook. That's the good thing.
Yeah.
Yep. And then they
Keep it
also
coming.
they announced Neo 2, which is shocking because the first one came out at the beginning of 2017.
I feel like people
Angela,
went
weren't
crazy
you literally
for this.
holding that game up at GameStop the other day?
he was.
Neo? Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people went crazy over this.
People love
announcement,
Neo.
too.
People loved it. We also got another Kingdom Hearts 3 trailer that showed more, and it was
Yeah.
actually really good.
It was really good. So this almost goes back to Square. I'm gonna get one last diss in. Why don't you show? You've
weird.
got this awesome trailer. Like, why don't you reveal anything? Why didn't you give yourselves anything?
Like you gave it to
You
someone
g-
else
and
pretty much.
Okay, you're being noble. I don't know why they would do that. But yeah, so I really didn't think we were gonna get anything new at Sony's. I didn't even
When it
consider
started-
like, oh, they're both gonna get a world.
when it started, we both thought it was the same trailer.
Y'all
They show
did.
the-
Fuck.
They show the same text, and it's just like
They literally they
whatever.
showed the same text, and both Tyler and Matt were like, "Here we go," and then all of a sudden it shows like
Whatever.
the
Then you cut
pirates,
to
and
Pirate Store,
y'all
and I was
like
like,
y'all
okay.
jumped up and like ran to the TV. It was amazing.
It looks great.
It looks great. It looks like it's gonna be set during, I guess, at World's End. It looks like more like third Pirates of the Caribbean movie.
That's the pirates. We should have got a 15-minute trailer for. You know what I'm talking about?
there you go.
And then they showed Axel and Kyrie at the end, but they were actually talking.
Yeah, you just saw a little bit more. Again, what I thought you would have seen at Square.
Yeah, this was my favorite trailer from
for
Kingdom
sure.
Hearts.
This one was the best. It still has the weird editing issues with the
They-
sound and stuff.
They made
that
sure to add the song again. Too.
Yeah, they really want you to like that song, and I'm digging the song.
I love it.
They released the song about 2 or 3 months ago and said this is going to be the Kingdom Hearts 3 song, and I liked it, but I was like, I don't know if I feel it the same way as like the other two. But I think it's once you put them with the game and seeing stuff with the game, then it's like, okay, this fits. This is Kingdom
Well,
Hearts.
I think it's fitting also with the fact that it's the last game in Sora's saga.
for sure. So you get a more sad song, and no, I think it looks good. The Pirates world looks really good. The character models honestly look awesome. I mean, Kingdom Hearts is never going to have the best graphics. But this game looks great. It looks for what Kingdom Hearts is in this kind of cartoony style. Like, this world actually looks very real. It looked like these could be character models that are in another AAA game. You know what I mean? So they look really good. I'm excited.
And what did they end with, Omar?
Well, I don't know. Yeah, Spider-Man.
Oh, boy.
Oh man. So I've played all 3 Arkham games. I've played all 3 of the original Spider-Man games, and to me, this feels like a combo of some sort.
Yeah.
I don't
It
know.
definitely
I got,
looked like that.
I got that vibe just from
Yeah, I mean,
the trailer.
at some point I was looking at this trailer and it's a great trailer. It's awesome. But I was
The
thinking like
combat
you take the
reminds you
combat,
so
you
much
take
of
just
Arkham.
the way
Yeah.
the whole UI is laid out and everything. I mean, this looks like reskinned Arkham for
Yeah.
Spider-Man. But
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day, I think that's the best way to go, right? I mean,
It's also pretty much what everyone would want from it. I
the
feel.
Arkham games
Exactly,
aren't
right.
just fantastic games, but I think they nailed the sense of feeling like Batman, but also feeling like a superhero. So
Exactly.
why not,
Yup.
if you're
Right.
going to take it and do Spider-Man right,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't think there's any point to get away from that kind of like realistic combat or,
Yeah.
you know, any of that stuff. Like, I
Right.
think keep that. It's
yeah, and it looks really cool. Like when you
Yeah.
see Spider-Man,
I'll tell you what, all that web action.
That's what I'm
Dude,
saying. Like,
loved it.
the web action, the swinging, and then just
Looks so
everything.
good.
Yeah, the movement. I mean, it's
oh yeah, it's much
it looks
more
fucking incredible.
like mobile and agile and
Yeah.
like fast paced than
Exactly.
the Arkham games
Exactly.
too. So I think
Yeah, yeah.
it's not gonna it's gonna feel like the Arkham games, but it's not gonna feel like a copy or a
No,
reskinned
it's
Arkham.
not.
gonna
Yeah,
be,
it's not.
It's gonna be its own thing, and it looks really cool.
Exactly, because also Spider-Man, like, he's got his own movements and everything, and it's still gonna feel like Spider-Man.
And, it's weird for me because as much as I want the Spider-Man game, I've played all of Insomniac's games too, like throughout my entire life, and it's weird having a game from them that isn't Ratchet and Clank at this point.
It is.
So
It
it's
definitely
as a diehard Ratchet and Clank fan, I'm very just like I kind of miss Ratchet and Clank, but I'm ready for something new. So
Yeah.
it's interesting.
It's cool, and they're going to. It's
Have
not
you
like
guys-
this game feels Ratchet and Clank
Right.
ified Spider-Man. You know what I mean? Like this.
No,
is,
no, yeah,
it's
yeah.
a complete own thing. So yeah,
It does seem
interesting.
very different.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about the Sinister Six?
Really cool. Again, this is something I feel like there's no way this happens in the game, right? I
What
don't
do you mean?
think I don't think you can
It'd
really,
be a lot to show from that game.
That's the thing, like, can you really have all of them like showing up in like this again feels like a very staged demo, like what they do at E3, but I think people kind of forget. It's
So you
like,
think it's not going to be an actual part of the game?
I don't think you're
It'll
going
be
to get this
cut
exact
differently.
iteration where all of them are showing up like in these perfect cameo positions that
Right,
all
right,
pop
right.
up at the end, unless this is how the game opens and the whole game focuses on the Sinister Six. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's what happens. I think that happens. He gets his ass kicked,
Yeah.
and then they're loose in the city.
Yeah,
Because-
that's true. That could happen.
I don't know. That's what I feel. But
I just feel like it's a lot to give away all in one moment of
Yes.
the game. I think
It could be. I don't
games
know.
normally
You
again
build
we
up
can't
to
not
that.
compare to the
Right.
Arkham games, but you're playing through the first good real Batman game, and you know all these villains are going to be in it, but you get them at different sections of the game, and that's what made it so good. I almost think like
Yeah.
I don't know why they would all come out at once, but
It would
who
be
knows?
cool if like it could end that way, because I think if you built up to all of them being together and
Uh-huh.
then that's like the last thing you do, I don't know. I think
Right.
that'd be really cool, but
Yeah, and
I
at
can't
the same time,
imagine
there's no way
seeing-
they showed you the end of the game.
right,
Right.
exactly.
No, no,
So
I feel
that's
like-
why I can't really imagine that.
I feel like if
being
it's
a
going to
thing.
be an actual part of the game, I feel like
It'd
it
probably
would
be at the
make more
beginning.
sense that that's how the game starts. They kick his ass because I
Right.
mean that's what
It's where it was
essentially
leading
happened,
to.
right? And then they all escape, and he kind of has to collect them or whatever
Yeah.
you want to call it. So,
I agree.
I don't know,
Collect
but
you boys.
I really hope this is a long game. Like I hope it takes forever to beat, just because like there's so much you could do with it.
I think it'll take forever to get, or not forever, but I think it'll be like a big game in the sense that if you want to do everything.
Right.
But I think it's going to be like the Arkham games in the sense that if you just go through the story, you're going to be playing it
Yeah.
for 10 hours. You
Yeah.
can get through it
Yeah,
quick.
yeah.
So
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we'll see,
It was
but,
interesting to me that they ended with Spider-Man just because that's coming in a couple months.
Yeah, I agree. I was
Or a
going to
few
say
months.
we all really enjoyed Sony's press conference. So if we knock them a little bit, I don't think that's us saying we didn't like it. But
Right.
I do agree, and I think it's strong to start with The Last of Us. And because of the way they did it, they had to start with it
Yeah.
because they were in the church or whatever. So I'm not saying change that. I don't really know what I'm saying. Maybe end with Death Stranding, just in the sense that
that's what
I
I
think
thinking.
there's something to be said with these conferences where you end with what you're looking forward to in the sense like long term, like why am I
Yeah.
going to why am I going to stay with these people? Like Spider-Man we're getting in 3 months and everybody knows that, so maybe show that in the middle.
I
But
think they just wanted to end on a happier note.
yeah, and I agree because like we were saying, a lot
Like,
of
it's
these
Spider-Man.
Sony games are very dark. They're the games they have on their plate right now are
I
very
didn't
dark.
realize
games.
how dark Sony games really
Yeah.
are.
Oh
They're-
yeah,
they're getting darker too.
All of them
they
except for
they haven't
Rick and
always
Morty.
been like this.
Yeah, that was
We didn't even-
that was
such a random
and-
little game.
No, wait,
threw in
that
there.
wasn't Rick and Morty, was it? It was the Rick and Morty people.
It
but
was the Rick
a-
and Morty people, but it
Right.
And
Yeah.
I'm almost positive it was the same voice characters
Yeah.
that like
It's-
do
I
Rick
mean,
and
it did
Morty.
seem like
but it was just so random.
Right. So there was
But
some
yeah.
light in there, but yeah, so maybe they were just trying to end on a more positive note, and that
A
makes
happier
sense. But yeah, I guess personally, I would just say, yeah, I would have preferred to see a little bit more of like the future versus what we're getting in 6 months.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
and
I
the
agree
thing
with that.
the thing with Sony was a lot of their transitions and like little musical things were weird, but I enjoyed.
Well, yeah, what was going on with the fucking
I don't know.
every
The,
now
like,
and then there'd be like a
banana
little
playing
animated
guitar?
yeah, like an
I
animated
think-
thing.
I think
playing
that has
an
to
instrument,
do
they
with-
would
with-
fuck up and then be it.
I think that has to do with the game that they announced a really long time ago that's been in the works. I think that's
But
what
they didn't
I read.
show
I read something that was alluding to that.
They
but
should have said
okay.
something about
Yeah.
it. then.
I don't know, but overall though, I enjoyed the whole vibe and aesthetic of the conference. The
Me too.
Oh
most.
yeah, I think this was probably my favorite out of all of them.
Yeah, I'm the most interested in the games, and there's a sort of wonder or amazement to it, I guess, that I enjoyed the most.
I agree.
But, yeah.
I definitely agree.
So, yeah.
I would say Square's was really bad, Ubisoft's was good, and Sony's was really good.
Yeah, I think Sony killed it.
I think we can all agree on that.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we not for the ending. I kind of knocked them, and just not having the release dates
Yeah.
for their big four, except for Spider-Man, is kind of another reason to knock it. But yeah, they brought what they. Sony's winning this console generation, and they didn't do anything to fuck that up with this conference. So
No.
they did what they needed to do. They surprised us in certain parts. So yeah, they did good.
Yeah, so I think we're all pretty pleased with this day.
Oh yeah,
Take us,
oh, yeah, for
take
sure.
us out, boy.
Wait, what?
Take us away.
Oh, okay.
Tell everybody
Yeah.
bye.
Well, that was a wrap on the Sony and Ubisoft and Square. Hope you guys liked it. And if you want, you could leave us a comment.
Tell
and a
us how we're
rating.
doing.
Yeah, no, seriously. Yeah, just let us know. I mean, hey, if you like us, you like us. If you don't, fuck off. But
All right,
for the
well-
most part,
No.
I really hope you guys have enjoyed what we.
Yeah, and come back for our next episode of
Yeah, subscribe on iTunes.
Yeah,
Give us
for sure.
a rating. We really appreciate it.
Yeah. All right. See y'all next time.
Later.
Thank you.